Yo, so I watched this Showmax Showmax TV series last year, and I had planned to react on it last year, but I was never motivated at the time because I felt like Kenyans are, not the best fans when it comes to TV and movie reviews. But honestly, with me, if something is really, really, really good, it sticks with me regardless. It sticks in my head regardless. And the only way I can get it off my head is by getting it off my chest. And I kid you not, Shaka Ilembe is hands down the best TV series production to come out of Africa. And this is big coming from a Kenyan. Listen, I've watched a lot of local content on Showmax. When I say local, I mean Kenyan. I've watched a lot of local content on Showmax, on Netflix, you name it. And I think we have some pretty good stuff, but nothing stands out like this South African TV series. There was a time when we used to hail Nigeria for their productions. But I think at the time, what stood out with Nigeria is that they used to tell African stories. The stories about witchcraft, jealousy, all that other BS, you name it. No one could tell it like the Nigerians told it. And their production was lackluster, to say the least. These guys would record movies in 3 initangwaje 3GP ama 3MP, what do you call it, 360p quality. But the stories are what got us interested, because finally something was talking about what is going on in Africa. But if you are a production student, a film student, or someone who just understands what goes around in production, you would have told the only thing that they have is the stories, but the production was lackluster. And now, a few years later, I think a few decades later, 2 decades later to be precise, the rest of Africa has begun to catch up. When it comes to acting, no one does it best like Kenyans and South Africans. When it comes to movies, script writing, storytelling, no one does it best like Kenyans and South Africans. But sasa, the South Africans have gotten a slight edge over the Kenyans because of they are ready to push the envelope. They are ready to push the envelope. The Kenyans are trying, but they are not there yet. Bro. Now, I know you out there would say, okay, maybe he's saying Shaka Ilembe is the best series to come out of Africa because of the nudity. No. Of course, when you're writing a movie, when you're telling a story, it's always advisable when you're telling this story, you tell everything about this story. I mean, both visually and in dialogue. It's always best when you're writing a story, and you want the best out of this story, talk about everything. Talk about everything, both visually and in dialogue. The only lines we don't cross is children. The only lines we don't cross is children. But the rest, play around as much as you can, okay? So, Shaka Ilembe is about Shaka Zulu. And of course, I watched Shaka Zulu, the movie, years back, you know, when I think it was in the 2000s, it came out in 2006, yeah? The Shaka Zulu movie. I think it was a three series movie, three part series movie. I liked the first part. The second and third part were not very, very great. And so when I heard there's this new series called Shaka Ilembe that's talking about, Shaka Zulu, how he came up, you know, how he grew up, all that, I was really, really interested. And I watched it. And hey, bro. I have to give an applause to the South African production. South Africa, you guys are dope. And I've been watching a lot of South African TV series. Actually, I don't watch international TV series and movies as much as I do African series. And when I say African series, it's South African series. And like I said, this is a lot coming from a Kenyan. And not just a Kenyan, a student of film production. A Kenyan student of film production. This is a lot. And we're going to get onto other South African TV shows like Adulting, later on in a few more reviews and reactions. But for now, let's talk about Shaka Ilembe. Shaka Ilembe is dope. It got me thinking and saying, a Kenyan needs to write about Luanda Magere. I would personally do it, but I don't have the time to I don't have the resources to start doing all that research. Because if you really want something to come out authentic, you also need to put in a lot of resources when it comes to research. Let me not digress so much. Let me get back to Shaka Ilembe. So it starts off with this girl, Shaka Ilembe's mother, this naked girl, to be precise. But the good thing about South Africans is that nudity is not something obscene to them. It's not something new to them, because it's part of their culture, right? It's part of the Zulu culture. They have this Reed celebration. It's part of the South African culture. And when I say South African culture, I'm not just talking about South Africa, the country. I'm talking about the Zimbabwe's, the Swaziland, the southern part of Africa. They still hold on to those traditions, So it's nothing new to them. But I'm here for the story, bro. The only negative review I have for Shaka Ilembe is that they told the story so fast. I think they didn't, it wasn't in the pipeline for them to make a season 2, but the season 1 did so well that they had to write a season 2. So, that can be excused. That can be excused. But yeah, they told the story a little bit too fast. I think Shaka the boy grew up a little bit too fast. The period between Shaka's mother, being kicked away from Zululand by the father, I also think it went too fast. It went so fast. Oh, bro. Hey, bro, these South Africans are doing great things. These South Africans are doing great things. If you ask me, I think Shaka Ilembe is one of those series that deserves an Emmy Award. Hands down. Imefika a point where now we're seeing African artists, winning Grammy Awards in the main stage, African artists being recognized for their music because of the hard work they are putting in. Same thing as the actors, Sasa. Same thing as the screenwriters, as the TV directors, movie directors. Movies not so much, but the TV directors in Africa. They are doing a great fucking job. They are doing a fucking great job. And it's high time that these guys need to be recognized. I'm really looking forward to the season 2. I don't know what is new that they'll come up with, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I think we need to see more and more of this in Africa. And that's why I'm challenging Kenyan writers out there to write something about Luanda Magere. If they don't, I think I'm going to have to. I would have said Butita, Abel Mutua wajaribu kuandika something of that, but me personally, not being a hater, I don't think they can pull that off. People have their strengths, and Butita and Abel Mutua, their strengths are in the drama comedy, not drama, but comedy, mostly comedy side of writing. They're really good at that. That's their strongholds.